cacao or cocoa? Two bags of chocolate powder sit side by side, looking nearly identical in color and imagery. Yet, their prices tell two completely different stories. Which one would you choose? A choice based on familiar habit, or an investment in health that you don't yet fully understand? Is this just a spectacular marketing trick to hike up prices, or is it a genuine chemical divergence that we've failed to notice? The truth lies at a fragile threshold of temperature. While cacao preserves the precious flavonoid compounds essential for heart health, cocoa often undergoes alkalization, the Dutch process, to mute its natural acidity and create an artificial smoothness for the palate. Standing under the supermarket's fluorescent hum, you aren't just choosing a baking ingredient, you are standing at a crossroads between a raw, instinctive living food and a tamed industrial legacy. Let's unravel the mystery that most of the world still mistakes. The shocking difference between cacao versus cocoa.
Stay curious about the simple things. I'm Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things.
All the debates surrounding cacao and cocoa essentially boil down to a choice of philosophy. Do you seek the preservation of purity, or do you crave a transformation for accessibility? Although they share a single starting point, the Theobroma cacao tree, dubbed food of the gods by the ancient Greeks, the journey from those jewel-like seeds leads to two vastly different destinations. The dividing line isn't botanical or agricultural, it is an invisible force: temperature. Cocoa is the embodiment of domestication. When humans invite heat into the process, a culinary miracle occurs. High heat roasting triggers the Maillard reaction, softening the harsh bitterness, deepening the aroma, and allowing the powder to dissolve more easily in milk or water. Specifically, through 19th century Dutch processing, alkalization, cocoa becomes darker, smoother, and milder, a refined descendant engineered for the comfort and consistency of modern life. In stark contrast, cacao is the wild, untamed ancestor. The philosophy of cacao is minimal interference. Seeds are fermented, sun-dried, and then cold-pressed or gently ground at low temperatures. This strict temperature control preserves the dense network of living enzymes and antioxidants, compounds that would otherwise be decimated by the intense heat of a roaster. Cacao tastes like chocolate in its most primal form, sharp, intense, and earthy, occasionally carrying hidden notes of fruit or smoke depending on the very soil from which it grew. Put simply, cacao is the untouched, bold, and spirited origin. Cocoa is the refined, gentle, and everyday version. They may share the same pod and the same seed, but they represent two completely different ideas of what chocolate should be. We live in an era where the dark brown jars in our pantries have completely stripped away their original mysticism. In truth, the story of cacao versus cocoa is a long journey from the shadowed tropical canopies, where it was worshipped as a gift from the feathered serpent god Quetzalcoatl, to its eventual subjugation by the steel gears of the Industrial Revolution. This divergence isn't just about nomenclature, it is the transformation from magic into profit. Long before it became a billion-dollar commodity, cacao was the lifeblood of the Maya and Aztec civilizations. It wasn't merely food, it was currency, where 100 seeds could buy a turkey hen. More importantly, the soul of cacao resided in the ceremonial drink xocolotl. This bitter, frothy elixir, infused with chili and vanilla, was engineered to awaken the soul rather than soothe the sweet tooth. Ancient warriors and priests revered cacao for its high theobromine content, a compound that gently stimulates the cardiovascular and nervous systems, providing mental clarity for sacred rituals or the heat of battle. However, the world shifted when Spanish ships carried cacao across the Atlantic. In Europe, a new kind of alchemy was born. Sugar and milk were added to soften the divine's harsh edges. The true turning point arrived in the 19th century, when machinery replaced handcraft. High-heat roasting and the alkalization process, Dutching, were invented to create a powder that was more stable, portable, and mass-produced. This was the birth of cocoa, a tamed version designed for the masses, severed from its ceremonial roots to enter the modern pantry. One path remained raw and reverent. The other embraced transformation to become the backbone of a global food empire. Every cacao bean begins its journey identically. From the sticky white pulp surrounding the seeds within vibrant pods to the magical 5 to 7 days of fermentation that awakens the unmistakable chocolate aroma. Without this step, cacao would taste like nothing at all. After sun-drying to shed moisture, the beans reach a critical fork in the road, where temperature decides whether they remain a living food or become an industrial ingredient. Cacao chooses the path of preservation. To keep its primal soul intact, the beans are left unroasted or subjected to extremely low temperatures, staying below 42 to 50 degrees Celsius. This rigorous temperature control prevents forced oxidation, thereby preserving the dense network of polyphenols and natural enzymes. The result is cacao nibs, butter, or raw powder, products that possess a sharp, intense flavor and remain as close as possible to how ancient civilizations once consumed this gift of the gods. In contrast, cocoa chooses the path of transformation. Under the intense heat of high-temperature roasting, the bean's chemical structure is completely altered to achieve smoothness and solubility. While roasting crafts the flavor, it significantly depletes the concentration of heat-sensitive antioxidants. When paired with alkalization, Dutch processing, the natural acidity and bitterness are neutralized, resulting in a darker, milder powder that is ideal for the baking tray. This is more than a technical variation. It is a philosophical divide. One chooses to preserve inherent life, the other chooses to transform for the sake of convenience. We are often quick to declare cacao the winner in the health race, but the reality is more complex than a simple nutritional equation. The high heat used for cocoa indeed breaks down the structure of polyphenols and flavonoids, those powerful antioxidants famous for supporting heart health, blood flow, and stress reduction. However, heat does not only take away, it bestows its own chemical miracles. Roasting enhances the Maillard reactions, crafting deeper aromas, richer chocolate notes, and the smooth textures our palates crave. While cacao remains wild and untamed, cocoa chooses to be softened and familiar. To truly understand them, we must debunk long-standing myths. First, cacao is always healthier is not a universal truth. In practice, many raw cacao powders are heavily sweetened to mask their intense bitterness. Furthermore, the raw label can sometimes be a fragile promise, as the natural fermentation process alone can drive temperatures inside the bean piles above 45 degrees Celsius, inadvertently altering sensitive enzymes long before they reach a roaster. Conversely, viewing cocoa as unhealthy is a significant misunderstanding. Unsweetened cocoa powder still carries a robust network of minerals and fiber. The true villain isn't the roasting process. It is the added sugar and artificial additives in commercial drink mixes. Finally, never assume you can substitute them one-to-one in your recipes. Due to its natural acidity, cacao reacts vigorously with leavening agents like baking soda, whereas cocoa, especially Dutch processed, is chemically neutral. Swapping them carelessly won't just ruin a cake's rise, it will fundamentally compromise the architectural integrity that the art of baking demands. Each has a role, one to elevate health, the other to enrich the experience. Imagine placing two entirely opposing worlds upon your tongue, both sprouted from the exact same seed. Cocoa arrives with a soothing familiarity. It is warm, velvety, and melts into milk without hesitation, instantly transforming into the flavor you have cherished your entire life. This seamless smoothness is the chemical result of high-heat roasting, which releases and stabilizes the fatty butter molecules, creating that creamy, integrated texture. It tastes like hot mugs pressed against cold hands and winter nights wrapped in blankets. A story told beside a heater while snow gathers by the window. Cocoa is more than a drink. It is a memory deliberately shaped by human hands to be safe and comforting. In stark contrast to that domestication, Cacao strikes with a sharp, intense, and unapologetic power. Its bitterness isn't harsh, but honest, carrying the very breath of the soil in which it grew. Because it escapes the destruction of high-heat processing, cacao preserves a complex network of volatile aromatic profiles that are often incinerated in industrial roasters. You catch deep hints of smoke, subtle ripples of fruit, or fleeting traces of forest flowers. Secrets the jungle only whispers to those brave enough to taste the raw truth. It lingers long after you swallow, a deep, unpolished darkness. This is the soul of chocolate before humans tried to tame it, an experience that is primal, raw, and fiercely true to its origins. In the modern culinary landscape, whether we realize it or not, most of us live alongside both brothers of the cacao family, yet each reigns over a distinct kingdom. While cacao is the hero of the wellness movement, cocoa serves as the backbone of the entire chocolate entertainment industry as we know it. One prioritizes nutrition, while the other worships comfort. Cocoa has built massive food empires thanks to its remarkable transformation under high heat. From decadent lava cakes and crispy cookies to steaming mugs of hot chocolate, cocoa remains the preferred choice due to its stability in fat crystallization. The roasting process does more than just mellow the bitterness. It optimizes solubility, allowing it to blend seamlessly with butter, milk, and sugar to create those classic comfort foods that soothe our souls on weary days. In stark contrast, cacao is rising as a symbol of mindful living. It dominates vibrant acai bowls, energy smoothies, and raw desserts that bypass the oven entirely. Those who reach for cacao typically place biological value above all else. Because it remains untouched by intense heat, cacao's enzymes and antioxidants retain their primal frequency, even if it means accepting a sharp bitterness and an instinctive, unrefined texture. One represents the human refinement for smoothness. The other represents an absolute reverence for what nature originally bestowed. Beyond recipes lies a question of how we dialogue with nature. From a single seed, humanity carved two destinies: cacao, the guardian of raw, unaltered origins, and cocoa, the partner that embraced transformation to become milder and smoother. The linguistic shift from cacao to cocoa carries the weight of history, from colonial trade to the industrial revolutions that redefined human taste. They represent two coexisting identities, one chasing purity, the other seeking comfort. Neither path is wrong. Both are authentic chapters in our evolution. Ultimately, the simplest ingredients teach us the biggest lessons. Do we choose the edge of instinct or the touch of domestication? Both reveal exactly who we are. I want to give you a powerful tool so you are never deceived by a label again. The 10-second rule. When standing before a jar of dark brown powder, don't just let the aroma mislead you. Perform the bitterness and awakening test. First, ignore the superfood marketing and taste a tiny amount of the dry powder. In a premium cacao, the bitterness shouldn't just vanish like sugar or a premixed blend. It should cling to the tongue, creating a slight dryness and a deep, earthy intensity. This isn't an irritation. It is the physical proof of raw flavonoids and theobromine that haven't been decimated by heat. Second, observe your palate's reaction. Within 10 seconds, if that bitterness doesn't transform into a clean, slightly astringent aftertaste, much like a fine red wine, the soul of the cacao bean has departed, likely a victim of over-alkalization or cheap fillers. But if, after 10 seconds, a gentle surge of energy spreads and the astringency blooms into notes of forest fruit, you aren't just tasting a powder, you're auditing a masterclass in purity. In those 10 seconds, if your taste buds fight back and the life stays vibrant, you've found the food of the gods. If it slides away with a soulless smoothness, the name on the label is just a brand without the craft inside. The divide between cacao and cocoa isn't a food war. It's a reminder of our right to the truth. We've become so accustomed to the comfort of cocoa, a version tamed by heat and machinery, that we've forgotten the fierce, raw soul of original cacao. One represents a shift for convenience, the other a reverence for vitality. Truth doesn't live on flashy, superfood stickers. It lives in your willingness to accept the honest bitterness of the earth. When we stop staring at the promises on the front and start understanding the essence on the back, we aren't just choosing a powder, we are choosing how we relate to nature. Don't let industrial sweetness deceive your instincts. If you enjoyed this story about the divide of the seed, tell us in the comments what simple thing we should explore next. Your idea might very well become our next episode.
I am Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things. Thank you for watching.
But remember, what you see on the surface is never the whole story. There is always a deeper, more complex world waiting to be fermented. Subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the hidden layers of your everyday life. We'll see you in the next one.